how did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figured most journalists would not disclose their source.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time.
Diddy sent those to 50?
It's like funeral flowers.
Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt. My favorite villain?
An actual, factual number.
And how did you tell his mom that her son was gone?
So it's just competitive energy and things that you say about other artists while you're in hip-hop culture.
One could watch this and think that you really hate because of the things that you post on Instagram.
And I die in the street about this shit, man. This shit dead serious to me. And then when I do rap shit, man, this shit is full of this type.
50 Cent.
Jay's definitely.
Jay helped you?
Yeah.
How did he
As a
help you?
competitor.
Explain it.
Yeah, because he never was someone that you communicate with that you're like friends with the person. But I always respected him because he was never an actual competitor in actual fact. He was someone who was a competitor to perception.
How close was Diddy and Jay-Z? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball, they wasn't playing baseball, they wasn't playing football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z.
The headlines hit like a shockwave across social media. Blacklisted. No more reality TV for 50 Cent and T.I. And within minutes, fans were spiraling. What could possibly be so explosive, so controversial that two of the biggest names in entertainment suddenly found themselves pushed out of the spotlight they helped create? At first, it seemed like just another rumor, another piece of gossip floating through the industry. But then, insiders started talking. Quiet whispers turned into loud accusations. And suddenly, it wasn't just speculation anymore, it was a full-blown scandal. Sources claimed that behind the scenes, tensions had been building for months. Heated arguments, secret meetings, deals falling apart at the last second. According to one insider, emotions ran high, and things got personal, very personal. Fans are shocked as reports suggest that both stars may have crossed a line that powerful networks simply couldn't ignore. But here's where it gets even messier. Allegations of betrayal have begun to surface. People close to the situation are pointing fingers, hinting that this wasn't just about contracts or ratings, but about loyalty, respect, and something much deeper. The family was left divided, one source revealed, suggesting that even those closest to them couldn't agree on what really happened. And then came the biggest twist of all. Rumors are now circulating that one of them may have tried to sabotage the other behind closed doors. Yes, you heard that right. Secret fallout so intense that it may have triggered this entire blacklisting. Drama. Fans online are already picking sides, with some defending their favorite star, while others demand answers. Is this the end of their reality TV empires? Or is there a hidden truth that no one is ready to reveal? Because if what insiders are saying is true, this story is about to get a whole lot darker. The entertainment world had been rocked to its core. In an industry fueled by drama, rivalries, and relentless competition, few stories managed to create the shockwave that whispers about 50 Cent and T.I.'s alleged blacklisting have caused. At first glance, it seemed like an unthinkable twist of fate. Two of the biggest hip-hop icons, personalities who dominated both the music and reality TV scenes, suddenly threatened with the loss of the very platform that amplified their fame. Fans were stunned, scrolling through Twitter and Instagram, replaying interviews and old clips, trying to make sense of what had led to this sudden unraveling of careers that seemed untouchable. According to sources, the roots of this crisis run deeper than anyone imagined. Industry insiders claim that tensions had been simmering for years, hidden behind the glossy veneers of magazine covers, late-night interviews, and carefully curated social media posts. Both 50 Cent and T.I. had cultivated images of success, wealth, and influence, projecting an aura of control over every project they touched. But behind closed doors, the story was far more chaotic. Executives, producers, and crew members who had worked with them for years spoke in hushed tones about disagreements over contracts, creative direction, and public appearances. Every decision, it seemed, had become a battleground. Fans might not have realized it, but reality TV is an unforgiving industry. Networks measure everything by ratings. Any sign of instability among its stars can quickly escalate into crises that threaten entire franchises. Insiders revealed that the final straw in this unfolding drama may have been a particularly tense incident during a recent filming session for a collaborative reality series. Allegedly, emotions ran high when creative differences escalated into full-scale arguments. Cameras may have been rolling, but the true intensity of the conflict was captured in moments the public could never see off-camera confrontations. Subtle threats and strategic power plays designed to protect personal brands. Sources close to the situation described the atmosphere on set as electric and volatile. Every interaction was loaded with tension. Every glance seemed to carry hidden meaning. It wasn't just about disagreements over scene direction or storyline. There were whispers of deep-seated resentment, lingering grudges, and a competition for dominance that spilled over into every aspect of production. People don't realize how personal it gets, one crew member explained. It's not just about fame or money anymore. It's about control, respect, and ego. And when those things collide, it can get messy fast. The conflict didn't stay contained within production. Social media, which had always been a tool for both stars to connect with fans and expand their influence, became an unintentional battlefield. Every post, every like, every carefully worded comment was dissected by fans and insiders alike. Observers noticed subtle digs and cryptic messages that hinted at underlying friction, leading to speculation that a full-blown feud was brewing. Fans, hungry for answers, began piecing together timelines and analyzing every public interaction, hoping to uncover the catalyst for what seemed like an imminent collapse of their favorite star's reality TV reign. The drama escalated further when insiders alleged that there were shadow meetings happening behind closed doors. Meetings that involved executives, managers, and even family members. The intent of these meetings, it was claimed, was to assess the feasibility of continuing projects with both 50 Cent and T.I. Some sources even suggested that network heads were worried the ongoing tensions could impact ratings, sponsorships, and overall brand reputation. The idea of blacklisting wasn't just speculation, it had become a strategic consideration. And that revelation sent shockwaves through every layer of the industry. What made this situation particularly explosive was the involvement of personal stakes. Sources revealed that both stars had invested significant time, energy, and personal identity into these reality projects. For years, they had curated images of themselves not just as musicians, but as entrepreneurs, fathers, mentors, and influencers, all woven into storylines designed to captivate audiences. The thought of being forcibly removed from these platforms was more than a professional blow, it was an existential threat to the carefully crafted personas they had spent decades building. Industry insiders also hinted that alliances, both public and private, were being tested. Staff, collaborators, and even family members reportedly found themselves caught in the crossfire, forced to navigate loyalties while balancing career survival. One insider remarked that the family was left divided, describing a tense atmosphere where personal relationships and business obligations became dangerously entangled. Friends and associates were allegedly pressured to take sides, creating fractures in previously stable networks of trust and loyalty. Adding fuel to the fire were allegations of mismanagement, sabotage, and behind-the-scenes manipulations. Unnamed sources claim that certain decisions, ranging from casting choices to narrative directions, had been intentionally influenced to undermine one party or the other. Every misstep, every disagreement was amplified, creating a perfect storm of suspicion, paranoia, and resentment.
And
Fans
that
were left to
he
speculate
and Diddy
endlessly,
could talk
drawing
openly,
conclusions based
and Mark could talk to Diddy not just as a client, but as a person, and try to guide him in a time leading up to his arrest. And unbeknownst to Mark Agnifilo, Diddy has got this guy recording the conversation as he's sitting there saying, "You are screwing this up. You are messing up this case. We're losing." And knowing that that's on tape. And it's almost like he's performing for the camera and not telling Mark what's going on. And the really enraging part about it is that Mark Agnifilo won this case for Diddy with legal strategy. It wasn't just an accident that this jury that had heard all of this in the news before the trial voted not guilty on all the serious charges. It was Mark Agnifilo that did that. Yet Diddy secretly records this guy and embarrasses him. And yeah, you could say, well, Diddy never expected that it would end up being broadcast somewhere else. Well, okay, but Diddy was planning on using it, or he wouldn't have had it recorded in the first place. So it's just really, really unfair. And I know that in a way this sounds crazy, that I'm getting so upset about Diddy, and yet there's video of Diddy beating Cassie. Well, that's horrendous, but that doesn't mean you can't look at something else as well. And I just think, as a lawyer, I just think this is just so outrageous that he would do something like this, and not even understanding what Agnifilo's legal theory was. Because I will tell you that when we did our first documentary on Diddy, which was 8 months before the trial, Mark Agnifilo said to me on camera that he is going to tell this jury that this was a successful black man that prosecutors were trying to take down because they couldn't get into his bank accounts because they were clean, and he couldn't deal with they couldn't deal with taxes because he wasn't committing tax fraud. So they go into his bedroom. And that's what Mark Agnifilo said 8 months before. And he goes into the trial and he essentially wins that argument. Whether you believe it or not, a jury that sat through the whole thing, they believed it, and ultimately they convicted him on this BS Mann Act thing. So Diddy won that case. And one of the reasons he won the case is something that Agnifilo got criticized for. That when he did the documentary with me, he was making a joke about the baby oil. Remember, he said, "Oh, well, I didn't know he bought in bulk. He must have bought 1,000 bottles at Costco." And a lot of people just slammed him for that and said, "How dare you? You're being disrespectful." The baby oil is the smoking gun in this case. Agnifilo knew all along that the baby oil was Diddy's best defense, because when Agnifilo got before that jury in closing arguments, he looked at them and he said, "Well, the feds came in with their armor and artillery and guns. And what did they do? They got 1,000 bottles of baby oil off the streets." "Ooh," he said, "the streets are safer now." And the jury laughed. And that laugh told Agnifilo he should keep going on that.
Fragments of truth in carefully crafted public images. The tension extended far beyond the confines of production studios and executive offices. Social media platforms became virtual arenas for speculation, with fan communities dissecting every post, analyzing body language, and theorizing about hidden motives. Popular forums and comment sections exploded with theories, ranging from the plausible to the outright absurd. Yet each contributed to the mounting sense of inevitability. 50. Cent and T.I were on the precipice of losing a reality TV foothold they had once dominated effortlessly. As the days turned into weeks, the situation only intensified. Reports began circulating of last-minute contract negotiations, hastily convened meetings, and urgent interventions by mediators and industry veterans attempting to salvage what remained. Of these high-profile collaborations, even as these efforts unfolded, rumors persisted that the possibility of blacklisting was real and imminent. Insiders warned that networks were seriously considering cutting ties to avoid further damage, leaving fans to question whether two of the biggest names in entertainment were about to experience a downfall for which few were prepared. The emotional stakes were staggering. Fans weren't just witnessing professional fallout, they were witnessing personal consequences. Allegedly, the ongoing feud had impacted mental health, strained friendships, and even altered family dynamics. Sources suggested that emotional outbursts and heated confrontations had become a daily occurrence, making the workplace an increasingly hostile environment. Reports described tense silences, secretive phone calls, and private meetings that lasted well into the night, all signaling that something monumental was unfolding. Despite the whirlwind of drama, the public had only seen the surface. Every interview and public appearance was meticulously managed, carefully orchestrated to maintain appearances while chaos reigned in private. Fans, unaware of the full extent of the tension, continued to engage online, sharing posts and tagging their favorite stars, hoping to maintain connection amidst a growing narrative of conflict and potential career derailment. And yet the question remained, how had things come to this point? How could two of the most influential figures in music and reality television find themselves so imperiled? Insiders cited a combination of ego, ambition, miscommunication, and perhaps even deliberate manipulation by external forces, eager to capitalize on internal strife. Some went so far as to suggest that rivalries with other industry figures, jealousy, and competing agendas had all converged, creating a scenario no one could have predicted. As the controversy gained traction, media outlets began picking up the story. Headlines flashed warnings and tantalizing teasers, prompting debates among fans, commentators, and casual observers alike. The narrative was now larger than just two stars. It had evolved into a cautionary tale about fame, power, and the fragility of status in an entertainment world where public perception can shift overnight. Striking detail reported by insiders was the involvement of network executives in quiet negotiations to determine the fate of both stars' reality projects. These discussions were described as tense and highly confidential, with potential outcomes ranging from temporary suspension to complete blacklisting. Sources suggested that some executives had already made recommendations to halt current projects, citing concerns about on-set tension, public backlash, and potential financial risk. The gravity of the situation was not lost on anyone involved. In a world where loyalty and reputation are everything, the alleged blacklisting of 50 Cent and T.I represented a seismic shift. It wasn't just about the loss of airtime or the end of reality projects, it was a statement to the entire industry. It was a warning that no matter how big or influential one may be, no one is immune to scrutiny, consequences, or the unpredictability. Fame fans, meanwhile, continued to react in real time. Social media threads exploded with conflicting narratives, heated debates, and fervent speculation. Supporters rallied to defend their favorite stars, while critics scrutinized every move, suggesting that the drama was an inevitable result of unchecked ambition and overreaching behavior. Online communities dissected every photo, every caption, and every comment, attempting to piece together an explanation for what seemed like an unprecedented escalation in celebrity conflict. As the story continued to unfold, insiders warned that the next chapter could be even more shocking. Allegations of secret agreements, strategic leaks, coordinated attempts to manipulate public perception hinted at a level of complexity far beyond what fans had witnessed. The narrative had evolved from mere rumors into a sprawling saga involving personal rivalries, professional miscalculations, and the intricate dynamics of power, influence, and ego in the entertainment industry. Every development brought new layers of intrigue. Reports emerged of meetings involving lawyers, publicists, and mediators, each trying to navigate the treacherous waters of celebrity conflict. Some sources hinted that temporary resolutions were in place, while others suggested that any semblance of peace was fragile, easily shattered by the next misstep or revelation. What was clear, however, was that the world was watching. Social media, traditional media outlets, and insider blogs were ablaze with speculation, commentary, and analysis. Fans were glued to screens, desperate for updates and eager to witness the unfolding drama that had already captivated millions. The notion that two entertainment titans could face such uncertainty sparked fascination, fear, and excitement, creating a perfect storm of public attention and industry tension. And through it all, the central question loomed: would 50 Cent and T.I I'd be able to salvage their reality TV legacies. Or had the alleged blacklisting set the stage for an unprecedented downfall? Only time would tell, but one thing was certain. The drama was far from over as the dust began to settle from the initial shockwaves. The deeper layers of this alleged blacklisting began to emerge. Sources close to production claim that the situation was far more calculated and strategic than anyone outside the inner circle could have imagined. It wasn't just a clash of egos, it was a collision of ambitions, reputations, and hidden agendas that had been quietly simmering beneath the surface for months, perhaps even years. The tension, once only whispered about in studio hallways, had now exploded into a full-blown narrative that left fans, collaborators, and networks scrambling to understand who had done what and why. One of the most startling revelations centered on the concept of influence. Both 50 Cent and T.I. had built empires. But in the world of reality television, influence is fragile and fleeting. Every decision is scrutinized, every move analyzed, and every action can be leveraged, either as leverage or as ammunition. Sources allege that rival executives had been closely monitoring the dynamics between the two stars, watching for any signs of weakness and waiting for the perfect moment to intervene. What had seemed like internal conflicts may have been exacerbated by calculated strategies designed to provoke errors, missteps, or overreactions. In essence, the alleged blacklisting was not just a consequence of personal conflicts, it was a masterclass in power politics, played out on a national stage. Reports suggest that the public fallout was only the tip of the iceberg. Behind closed doors, tensions escalated into full-scale strategic warfare. Trusted allies reportedly found themselves forced to choose sides, weighing loyalty against opportunity. Some insiders hinted that even family members became unwilling pawns in a complex game of influence and survival. These private confrontations reportedly became increasingly personal, touching on unresolved grievances.
Don't know, for a while Solange and Beyonce actually were not on speaking terms, but they're back talking now. They're back cool, and basically Solange is around to keep Beyonce spiritually protected. Solange is the spiritual protector of that family. Don't get it twisted. Mama Tina is powerful. Solange is the most powerful list. You better ask some damn body. All right. Now, the reason why Beyonce ain't came to speak to Brandy, baby, is because Beyonce does not talk to anyone who used to sleep with Jay-Z, okay? Whether you guys know it or not, and I have to say allegedly, right? Jay-Z and Brandy used to talk back in the day, and by back in the day, I mean like late 90s type stuff, right? Brandy always kept Jay-Z on the low back in the day because, quite honestly, he was too ugly to be out in public with. I'm just keeping it real. To claim him publicly, he was too ugly back in the day. Now, when you try to search up pictures of Jay-Z and Brandy, you will find... Hold up, let me see. Hold up. Let me see, because I thought I had a picture of them two, Brandy and Jay-Z. Now, this would have been from... let's see, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Brandy and Jay-Z. Okay, there we go. Now, this picture of them was in 2002. All right. And this was, I think was at one of her album release parties, if I'm not mistaken. This was a year after Moesha Rap, because Moesha went off air in 2001. Yes, he was dealing with Beyonce at the time as well. And, Blue Cantrell, he was, let me tell you, Jay-Z was laying the low and spreading it wide. Jay-Z was one of those dudes in the industry that, you know, you messed around with, he piped you down, but before he was really him, you did not claim him publicly because he was just simply too ugly. It was what it was. But Jay-Z was in love with Brandy then. He's not in love with her now, but he still has love and feelings towards her. He's one of those people that feels like once he done had you and once he done loved you, he always feels like he has like possession over you. Jay-Z is one of those kind of men, baby. I don't know if they told you. Jay-Z is extremely jealous, extremely controlling, and extremely possessive. That's another reason why. Hold up. Where'd the picture go? Wait a minute. Where'd the picture go? That's another reason why Beyonce up here. Wait. Anyway, y'all get the point. That's another reason why Beyonce, over the years, a lot of the music that she's made, it's always been with him. A lot of the remixes, it's always been with him or somebody that he approves of her to work with, okay? Jay-Z was so damn controlling, he didn't even want her father, talking about Matthew Knowles now, he didn't want her father managing her anymore, and he stepped in. And if y'all notice, when Jay-Z stepped in as Beyonce's manager, the music changed, everything changed, and the money started to get effed up. But that's another story for another day. We're not getting on that right now. We sticking with Brandy and Jay-Z right now. So they started messing around on the low in the 90s. Even to the early 2000s, they were still messing around. I'm not exactly sure which year the relationship officially ended, but just know that Jay-Z was just basically good for, that was what he gave. He gave big, I don't know no other way to put it.
Past betrayals and the long simmering competitive tensions that had quietly shaped their careers. Industry analysts have described this period as the most chaotic chapter of reality TV celebrity history in decades. In boardrooms and executive suites, meetings stretched late into the night, with advisors, lawyers, and producers attempting to navigate the treacherous waters of talent management. Sources claim that the stakes were nothing less than the continuation of entire franchises. Networks were allegedly assessing whether either star could continue to carry the brand, whether their ongoing personal conflicts might threaten ratings, advertising revenue, and public perception. Every option came with risk, and every decision was scrutinized for potential fallout. Amid the chaos, fan communities became unofficial investigators, piecing together fragmented information from social media, leaks, and insider tips. Hashtags began trending worldwide, creating pressure for transparency while also amplifying speculation. Online theories ran rampant. Some suggested that hidden legal disputes were the real reason behind the alleged blacklisting, while others believed that deliberate sabotage by third-party producers had triggered the crisis. The swirling narratives created a sense of unpredictability, leaving fans unsure of what was fact, what was exaggeration, and what might never be revealed. Then came the revelation that sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. Sources hinted that a third-party intervention may have been involved, figure or group with vested interest in disrupting the stability of both stars' projects. This shadowy influence allegedly operating behind the scenes, reportedly orchestrated leaks, manipulated narratives, and strategically amplified tension to create maximum disruption. The result was a cascade of events that neither 50 Cent nor T.I could fully control, leaving both men and their teams scrambling to regain agency over their careers. The pressure was compounded by the financial stakes. Reality TV is not just about fame, it's about money, partnerships, and long-term brand expansion. Allegedly, both stars had lucrative contracts with production companies and sponsors, contracts that were now in jeopardy. The mere threat of blacklisting sent shockwaves through business partners, who reportedly began reassessing their associations and evaluating the potential risks of continued collaboration. Every move made by the stars or anyone connected to them was now under intense scrutiny, with real-world consequences for personal wealth, reputation, and future opportunities. In parallel, social media played an unprecedented role in shaping the narrative. Fans, influencers, and rival personalities collectively amplified every rumor and report, creating an ecosystem in which the story seemed to evolve by the hour. Insiders reported that strategic leaks were being used to test public reaction, gauge fan loyalty, and indirectly pressure executives to make decisions favorable to certain outcomes. What started as internal tension between two stars had now become a spectacle, observed, dissected, and debated by millions worldwide. While the public witnessed speculation and rumor, the private turmoil intensified. Reports suggest that the psychological toll on those involved was significant. Sources describe sleepless nights, heightened stress, and constant fear of missteps that could end careers. Emotional conflicts reportedly ran high, with tempers flaring during meetings, recording sessions, and even casual encounters on set. The stakes were not just professional, they were deeply personal. Allegedly, long-standing friendships were strained to the breaking point. Alliances were broken. and relationships that had been considered untouchable were now under threat. Some insiders claimed that one of the most destabilizing factors was the manipulation of information. Rumors of miscommunication, edited footage, and carefully timed leaks allegedly exacerbated existing tensions, whether intentional or accidental. These manipulations created a perception of instability and conflict, magnifying the sense of crisis. Executives reportedly became increasingly concerned that the narrative would spiral out of control, potentially impacting public perception, sponsor confidence, and overall brand equity. Amid all this, allegations of betrayal began to surface. Anonymous sources claimed that certain actions by team members, advisors, or collaborators may have intentionally undermined one or both stars. The purported betrayals were subtle, yet impactful. Designed to erode trust, create suspicion, and destabilize decision-making. This layer of intrigue added complexity to the unfolding saga, leaving fans to speculate about who was truly accountable for the mounting chaos. Compounding the situation were reports of rivalries outside the immediate conflict. Allegedly, other entertainment figures were monitoring the situation closely, seeking opportunities to capitalize on the instability of 50 Cent and T.I.'s reality TV presence. These rivalries, while indirect, reportedly added pressure, creating an environment where every move, every statement, and every strategic decision carried heightened significance. The combination of internal tension and external observation created a sense of inevitability, as if a dramatic climax was looming, destined to unfold in spectacular fashion. Further reports suggested that attempts at resolution had been attempted, but faltered under the weight of emotion and miscommunication. Mediation efforts reportedly broke down due to mistrust, conflicting agendas, and the sheer intensity of personal stakes. Every proposed compromise was challenged, every plan questioned, and every agreement scrutinized, creating a cycle of tension that seemed almost impossible to break. Insiders described these failed attempts as both tragic and fascinating, likening them to a high-stakes chess game in which each player was acutely aware of the consequences of even a single misstep. As the situation unfolded, speculation about potential outcomes began to dominate discussions. Would networks move forward with one star while excluding the other? Could a temporary suspension evolve into permanent blacklisting? Were there undisclosed settlements being negotiated to quietly resolve the conflict behind closed doors? Sources acknowledged that while the public narrative painted a picture of chaos, strategic negotiations were ongoing, though shrouded in secrecy. Every potential path carried risk, and every decision could either salvage or permanently damage careers. Adding to the drama, insiders hinted at potential ripple effects across related projects, collaborators, secondary cast members, and production. Staff were allegedly caught in a web of uncertainty, with schedules disrupted and creative direction compromised. The alleged blacklisting was not just about the central stars, it was a story that extended outward, affecting countless individuals, and creating a network of high-stakes tension across the entertainment landscape. Throughout this turmoil, fans remained intensely engaged. Online communities analyzed every update, debated every rumor, and dissected every potential scenario. The story became larger than the stars themselves, transforming into a cultural phenomenon that encapsulated not only the fragility of celebrity, but also the volatility of fame in an industry driven by spectacle. Insiders emphasized that the combination of personal conflict, professional rivalry, and strategic manipulation had created an unparalleled case study in entertainment dynamics. Even as the crisis reached its peak, reports suggested that both 50 Cent and T.I were actively seeking ways to regain control. Advisors, mediators, and legal teams were reportedly working tirelessly.
When Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those
I was wondering what you talking.
Trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
You're gonna let him say that? Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he ain't show up.
He has like 20 now.
Hold on.
He had like 18 since he been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
Hold on. You're not wrong.
He was one. At the same time. He got them shit. He's like drinking. His pictures with him. He thinks the cop.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades.
Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Right? You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got it for the music. Jay got it for the music.
You didn't see.
He deserved those.
I'm sitting there, it's like this, like Black excellence. They're sitting there like, yeah. It's a billionaire brunch. Like,
I hate you, man.
Unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year. Yeah. Come on, bro.
That's crazy. He just looking at his watch during the whole Rock Nation play. Like, is it 3:30?
Yeah, it's almost time to get out. Yo, I feel like I'm normal again. Get me out of here.
Oh wow! So that's the deal he signed, huh?
Yeah, that's the deal. Like, the other ones didn't count as much as that one did.
Oh, yeah, before I forget this, we talked about Jay. Proximity to Diddy. You don't think he knew anything? He's seemingly around Diddy a lot.
No, that was a real suburb question.
I know, right? Proximity.
Hold on. Proximity.
Proximity. That's the SAT hit parade word. I learned that.
Do you think he knew all of the shit that was going on? Then I was like
I don't want to incriminate myself.
I know, but the way he said it,
like I said,
no matter how you answer that, you snitching.
That was a nice kind of. You asked the question like a fan.
Hey, I grew up with white people, but one thing I know is how to get a black guy in trouble.
But it's a great question. Yo, just give him the Happy Meal before you ask him to snitch, bro.
He said, damn, they wasn't even drinking.
Speaking of, how the hell you pronounce
Lechimendewa.
Okay.
It's the King's Path.
King's Path.
Oh.
Because I know Branson. That's the one I pronounce.
Branson. That's the Branson lifestyle. You know, be outside.
You're not worried that if you throw little and you don't throw out allegations, but like you kind of poke fun at them.
You just ask questions.
You're not worried that it comes back your way. Like people dig up your past and try to pull stuff up.
I don't got that in my past.
Everybody got a little bit. I took
a pill, but it was for me
to navigate the treacherous landscape, balancing public perception, contractual obligations, and personal interests. However, the path forward was far from clear. Every move risked backlash, every decision risked misinterpretation, and every revelation carried the potential to further inflame the situation. In short, the alleged blacklisting had become a defining moment for both stars. It was a situation that intertwined personal ambition, professional reputation, and public scrutiny. In ways few could have anticipated, the story was no longer just about two individuals. It was a microcosm of the broader challenges faced by anyone navigating the complex, high-pressure world of reality television. As the weeks passed, the speculation and suspense intensified. Every rumor, every insider report, and every public interaction became part of a growing narrative that left audiences captivated and anxious. Fans were left to grapple with the same question that insiders had been pondering from the beginning. Was this the beginning of a career-ending downfall? Or the prelude to a dramatic comeback that would redefine the legacies of 50 Cent and T.I? The world waited, watching, analyzing, and debating. And behind the scenes, the drama continued to unfold, each revelation adding fuel to a story that seemed destined to dominate. Entertainment headlines for months, perhaps even years. The alleged blacklisting was not just a rumor, it was a saga, unfolding in real time, full of tension, betrayal, and the kind of suspense that defines legendary reality TV drama. As weeks turned into months, the alleged blacklisting saga of 50 Cent and T.I escalated into an unprecedented spectacle. Industry insiders described it as a crisis unlike anything the entertainment world had witnessed in decades. What had started as a series of tensions behind the scenes had transformed into a sprawling, multifaceted drama, entangling collaborators, family, fans, and even rival executives. Each day seemed to unveil a new revelation, a hidden twist, or a shocking betrayal that deepened the complexity of the unfolding narrative. The stakes had reached a fever pitch. Sources claimed that not only were the reality TV projects at risk, but both stars' broader reputations were under attack. Every public appearance, social media post, and interview was dissected for signs of weakness, hypocrisy, or deceit. Allegedly, rivals and competitors seized on every misstep, amplifying rumors and strategically feeding narratives to media outlets hungry for controversy. The media frenzy had transformed into a self-perpetuating storm. The more rumors circulated, the more attention the story gained, and the more precarious the positions of both 50 Cent and T.I became. One of the most explosive developments, reportedly, involved a previously undisclosed betrayal. According to insiders, a close collaborator, long trusted by one of the stars, allegedly leaked sensitive information to a competing network. This information included internal disagreements, casting, plans, and even personal grievances that were never meant for public consumption. The leak sent shockwaves through production teams, creating paranoia and suspicion. The family and friends of both stars were left questioning loyalties, unsure of who could be trusted as the stakes continued to rise. Fans were shocked to learn that the conflict was no longer confined to public disputes. It had penetrated the very inner circle, threatening the stability of everything both stars had built over decades. Adding another layer of tension, insiders hinted at financial sabotage. Reports suggested that certain investors and sponsors, alarmed by the escalating conflict and potential public backlash, began reconsidering their partnerships. Contracts were delayed, sponsorship deals were put on hold, and negotiations stalled, leaving both stars facing the possibility of significant financial loss. The alleged blacklisting, initially seen as a potential career inconvenience, had evolved into a full-scale threat to wealth, influence, and professional longevity. Meanwhile, rumors swirled about personal consequences. Sources indicated that the strain had begun affecting mental and emotional health. The pressure of public scrutiny, internal conflict, and financial uncertainty reportedly created an environment of intense stress. Insiders described sleepless nights, tense confrontations during production, and a constant state of vigilance. Even the most composed public images of 50 Cent and T.I were now overshadowed by what was happening behind closed doors. Allegedly, the personal toll of the blacklisting saga rivaled any professional challenge they had faced in their careers. Amid this chaos, a dramatic twist reportedly emerged. A third-party executive, previously operating in the background, allegedly, orchestrated a series of maneuvers designed to maximize conflict. This figure, motivated by personal gain and strategic positioning, is said to have manipulated narratives, leaked sensitive information, and stoked tensions to ensure that both stars faced maximum scrutiny. Industry observers describe the move as calculated and ruthless. It's creating an environment in which 50 Cent and T.I were both targets and pawns. Forced into a high-stakes game with little control over the outcome, the drama extended beyond traditional media channels. Fans became active participants in the unfolding story, engaging in heated debates across social media platforms. Online forums buzzed with speculation, conspiracy theories, and detailed analyses of every post, comment, and public interaction. The frenzy created a feedback loop. Every fan reaction influenced the next move of the stars, their teams, and even network executives. In effect, public opinion became an invisible but powerful force in the alleged blacklisting saga, turning the drama into a real-time interactive spectacle. As tensions escalated, insiders revealed that internal relationships were fracturing at an unprecedented rate. Long-standing alliances dissolved, while new opportunistic connections emerged. Crew members and collaborators reportedly navigated shifting loyalties, uncertain who to trust as the conflict intensified. Allegedly, even family members were drawn into strategic discussions, their personal opinions and allegiances shaping decisions that would have far-reaching consequences. The emotional weight of the situation reportedly became as significant as the professional stakes, creating a pressure cooker environment that few outside the inner circle could comprehend. Further complicating matters were allegations of media manipulation. Sources claimed that selective leaks, strategic social media posts, and timed revelations were being orchestrated to shape public perception. Every narrative released to the press appeared designed to amplify suspense, fan outrage, and industry speculation. According to insiders, this was no accident. It was a meticulously crafted campaign designed to keep audiences engaged, maximize attention, retain the aura of unpredictability that had become central to the story. The personal stakes reached a peak when reports surfaced of attempts to control the narrative directly. Allegedly, both stars were working to influence media coverage, social media perception, and even fan discussions, attempting to reclaim agency over their careers. These maneuvers, while strategic, reportedly introduced new risks. Every intervention carried the potential to escalate tensions further, alienate collaborators, and inadvertently fuel rumors that could be misinterpreted by both fans and executives. In this high-stakes environment, even minor missteps could have major repercussions. Meanwhile, insiders hinted at escalating confrontations with network executives. Allegedly, these meetings were fraught with tension, mistrust, and veiled threats. Executives reportedly debated whether the alleged blacklisting was necessary to preserve the integrity of their franchises, or whether compromise and negotiation could avert disaster. Each discussion reportedly revealed new dimensions of conflict, including questions of loyalty, creative control, and long-term strategy. The negotiations, insiders suggested, were not just about reality TV projects, they were about legacy, influence, and survival in a world where celebrity is both fragile and volatile. Compounding the complexity, rumors emerged about potential legal ramifications. Allegedly, contracts were being scrutinized, clauses interpreted in new ways, and legal teams mobilized to prepare for every possible outcome. Sources indicated that contingency plans were in place in case projects were halted. But even these plans could not fully mitigate the professional and financial consequences. The alleged blacklisting insiders suggested had evolved from a rumor into a multifaceted crisis with legal, financial, and personal dimensions. In addition to the internal drama, rivalries outside the immediate conflict reportedly intensified. Industry competitors, sensing opportunity, allegedly attempted to exploit the situation to advance their own interests. From secretive alliances to strategic leaks, Katie's rivalries added a layer of external pressure that further destabilized the environment. According to insiders, this convergence of internal tension and external manipulation created an atmosphere of unprecedented uncertainty, leaving both stars vulnerable in ways they had never experienced before. Fans, meanwhile, remained captivated. Social media threads, discussion forums, and fan pages were flooded with theories, speculations, and analyses of every possible scenario. Some speculated that reconciliation was imminent, while others predicted permanent fallout. The narrative had become larger than the individuals involved, evolving into a cultural phenomenon that captivated audiences around the world. Every post, every comment, and every reaction contributed to the ongoing saga, creating a sense of immediacy and participation unprecedented in celebrity culture. As the story approached its climax, insiders hinted at the possibility of a dramatic resolution or a catastrophic escalation. Allegedly, final decisions regarding blacklisting, project continuation, and public statements were pending, with outcomes hinging on subtle negotiations, last-minute interventions, and the unpredictable reactions of fans and media. Every potential scenario carried high stakes, and the tension reached a near unbearable peak. The entertainment world watched, transfixed, as the drama of 50 Cent and T.I.'s alleged blacklisting unfolded in real time. Spectacle of betrayal, intrigue, and high-stakes negotiation that redefined what it meant to navigate fame in the modern era. In the end, the saga of 50 Cent and T.I. was not just a story about reality TV, it was a cautionary tale about the fragility of influence, the volatility of loyalty, and the power of perception in a world where every move is magnified, every rumor spreads like wildfire, and every decision carries consequences far beyond what anyone could anticipate. The alleged blacklisting had become more than a rumor, had become an immersive, dramatic saga that captivated millions, leaving fans, collaborators, and insiders alike questioning what the next twist might reveal. As this shocking saga continues to unfold, one thing is clear: nothing in the world of entertainment is ever as perfect as it seems. The alleged blacklisting of 50 Cent and T.I. has left fans stunned, divided, and desperate for answers. Behind-the-scenes betrayals to rising tensions and powerful industry moves, this story has turned into one of the most intense reality TV dramas we've seen in years. And the biggest question still remains: what really happened behind closed doors? Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the entire situation has left the entertainment world on edge. Some believe this is the downfall of two major icons, while others think this could be the beginning of an even bigger comeback. The family was left divided, alliances were tested, and the truth still feels just out of reach. Every new rumor adds fuel to the fire, and every update brings more mystery than clarity. Now it's your turn. What do you think is really going on? Is this a planned industry move, or real fallout that went too far? Do you think 50 Cent and T.I. will make a comeback, or is this truly the end of their reality TV era? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because your opinion matters more than ever in a story like this. And if you want more shocking celebrity drama, hidden stories, and explosive updates just like this one, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss what's coming next. Because trust me, this story might not be over yet.